everybody? We are back again, JFL Live. Tony G is in the house, Duval's finest. I got my boy Johnny Jaguar. You know I'm representing my Jaguars. We're going to have it out today. It's going down. What's up, Johnny?
You know, living the dream over here, but the Steelers ass this week.
Woo!
I'm going to say 2017. That's all I'm going to say. But we'll say that.
Wow.
My boy Big Hen doing today, man.
What's up, baby? Duo! It is Steelers week. Tomorrow is the dang game. I know we won in 9. Understand, got you. But it's the week, man. You see this? Yeah. It's going to run that ball. I need some running. I need run stoppers. Oh, hold on. I'm getting too far myself. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to JFL Live. We got special guest Ramon Foster, Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what it is. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? I appreciate y'all having me on the show. And I'm going to be real. I'm really looking forward to this. When you hit me up and said, Mon, I need you on the 21st, guess what? It was like, okay. I didn't even think twice about it because I knew it was going to be like this. But I didn't know you was going to have them in here just ready to throw blows to all they yelling is 2017. We'll get to it.
He should have brought some backup. He should have brought some more backup.
You did. No, I'm good. I do good in the corner. You see me with my yard to my back. I do good in the corner. Let's go. That's what I'm telling you.
Before we get even started on this thing, because we got to get some things out the way. Tony, what we got in the corner? What you got?
Hey, man, so listen up, everybody. First of all, we're going to talk about this turkey drive that we're doing. You know, JFL believe in taking care of our people, and we don't even, look, we do our thing. We look out for our people. We look out for those less fortunate. So we have 20 turkey dinners that we're going to be giving away. We're doing that on Tuesday. We're going to go live so everybody can see. And when we get done with that, we got a big surprise coming for Christmas. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we giving 98 kids toys representing Big Hen's 98. That's what we doing for Christmas. 98 Christmas bags. Because that's what we do. Look, we want to give back. We know it's a hard year. We know COVID's getting everybody. We know we got people that's losing jobs. All this stuff is happening. So what we do, if we can give, we give. That's what we do.
Man, can I just speak on that real quick, man?
Yes,
I'll just say this too. Doing so, I've done my turkey drives for Thanksgiving, and I did my holiday drives for Christmas too, man. And I'll say this, I'm sure you guys have, like, going and being able to do that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Because I'll say this, no matter where you are, there are people hurting. And to see that up front, man, and see how appreciative people are. And some of the people, of course, you have some people that come through, just take advantage of it. But you see some people in there, man, that really, like, they'll tell you, like, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have ate, or we wouldn't have had a Christmas. And to be able to bless somebody, man, y'all, that's a killer thing that y'all doing that I've had to do. We might have to link up and do something like that.
We can do it. We can do it.
Because we can't depend on politicians to do it. We have to do it ourselves. And we talk about that all the time. There's enough of us that we can do it ourselves. Don't worry about the politicians. We do our thing, and we keep it moving. And we take care of our folks. And also, I want to say thank you to Ronald Jenkins out of Ken Knight. Coming to see you, baby. We're going to do well. We're going to definitely get this Thanksgiving drive going. And Big Head, just so you know, I got a couple of messages for the week because, I made an announcement last week. I didn't realize how bad it was going to be.
Oh, Lord.
I said it was petty week. I said, listen up, everybody. It's petty week. Go ahead and be petty. I didn't know it was going to get that big. So I need everybody to text me and email me. Email us at info@JFL Live, and whoever did the best petty thing for the week, I'm going to give you $25.
That's sad, Tony. That's sad. I ain't going to,
I thought this was your show, Joe.
No, this is all three of us right here.
Man,
they crazy. They crazy.
Dog, man, see, that's what happened messing with them Jacksonville folks right there. I said it.
He said it all. Okay,
hey, Jacksonville, we got this Pittsburgh still on here. We're going to give him a left. We're going to give him a right. We're going to let him know that Jacksonville going to beat that ass tomorrow. What you got to say about that?
And I got my brother from Tennessee. So all you Gators, Tennessee in the building.
Go Vols all day. It don't matter. Go Vols.
Now, since we talking about our boys, This is a question because we talked about it for the show, but I wanted to ask this question because I know what I see. Mm-hmm. What do you see that's missing? Okay, you say before the show, you said we lost it, but man, I see those guys. You said those guys in the league, and they doing great. What happened? What was it that we was missing in Tennessee?
Joe, man, I think the talent is there, has always been there because it's a big university. It's a big-time university. The reason I went to Tennessee was because I knew Tennessee had a great path as far as me getting to the league. I saw guys like you, like Cozy, just all the way through the ranks, just Jamal, Travis, just all the guys from every position make it to the league, and I think that's still there. And what I'm seeing now is we're not winning, but we have a lot of pros in the league, and I think it's more a little bit of the development. I think it's a little bit of the coaching, and I think it's also this too is stability. Since Fulmer left, man, if we can just be real, if we really ain't had much stability, something that you can say that's Tennessee football. When you look at Alabama, you say that's Alabama football because of Nick Saban. You look at Ohio State, there's a standard there. We were talking about it before, Tony. You were saying as far as like Florida State. Florida State has no identity right now. No. And in order for you to have an identity, you got to have a main focus, and that's what we don't have right now. But then you catch guys, go to the league, Marquez Callaway, Shy Tuttle, Cordero Patterson, Derek Barnett, they flourished in the NFL because the talent is always there. It's just that when you don't have a centralized meaning to your university, that's what happened. Guys, I feel like guys shine after the fact. And that's what I see with us. You guys know how it is, man. That goes from high school, college, all the way to the NFL. When teams don't have identities, there'll be like 2 or 3 guys make Pro Bowls, but the team don't succeed, and that's what we're going through as a university right now, I feel.
Oh, man. I thought I just said it was leadership, man. That's what I say.
But that's what it go to.
Because we missing something, man. It's where that fire, where that will to win, man. I just knew it. There was something missing. That's all, man. But I saw the talent. I mean, we had it for years.
It's like any other business.
Yeah.
You know, and we say this all the time. You know, this is a business, and so like any business that you're involved in, sometimes ownership forget that, hey, not only is this guy managing, but he's developing a culture, an identity for the place that he is running. And if you don't allow that person to make that identity and that culture, and you just say, bam, 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 you're never going to be where you want to be. So sometimes, you know, your athletic directors, your owners of NFL teams, you know, they have to step back and say, hey, create the culture, create the identity. Tell me what you're trying to do, and I'll support it. You know, and that goes with the Jaguars. Jaguars, same way. We don't have an identity. We don't have, where's our culture? What is our culture? And so when you don't have that, all you have is a team. All you have is a business.
A bunch of athletes.
Yeah.
A bunch of athletes.
Exactly.
You
got a bunch of athletes.
Be like Alabama, win right immediately. That's not real life.
Correct.
No.
3, 4, 5, 6 years to get humanly decent. Look at Michigan. They brought in Harbaugh. They're finally now doing decent besides this year. But I mean, it takes that long to build a program. Not everybody's gonna think Alabama and start getting these 5-star recruits win national championships every year. That's not real life. And that's the problem with fans. Everyone wants to expect to win right away. That's not like
no. And so I host a radio show here in Nashville. It's J. Martin Ramon from 6 to 9 every morning. And that's what I had to tell our fan base, because we talk about UT sports. And we talk about just overall American sports in general, specifically college. And so I posed a question one day to our callers. I said, so what's actually a good coach? Like your Nick Sabans, your what is his name? Day in Ohio State, your Kirby Smart type guys, your Dabos, like it's only about 4 or 5 of them. Okay, that's the same thing you're saying. It's only like 4 or 5 of them. When Urban Meyer was in, you feel me? When Fulmer was in, you know, when Bobby Bowden was in, like it's only a small sample size of them guys. So for the rest of everybody else that can't win a national championship every year or been in playoffs, who is actually a good coach, or what's a good coach, man?
I think we got is good or something like that. You know, a winning record that gets you to a bowl game, should be happy with that.
Or like 9 wins. Let's be real, 9 and 3. Like that's a damn good coach, and you just gotta like Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, Les Miles, Dabo Swinney. They messed it up for fan bases because it looks so cool now. They paint up the way these guys play, and every fan base is like, and they make it look easy.
That's the problem.
Every fan base is like, man, I want that. Give me that. You can't have that. Those coaches, it's hard. Like you said, it takes 4-5 years to get to that point, man. It's crazy, but I'm starting to be a realist about like UT now. Like we got to sit back a little bit more and just enjoy what's in front of us and let them kids and coaches grow, because Coach Pruitt is a young coach at UT right now, and you can tell that he don't know a lot that's going on because of his staff and the decisions he makes. So I'm like, all right, I'm still gonna ride. I'm gonna be mad, but I'm gonna ride still.
I'm gonna ride. So I got to.
Big hand. You didn't ask him the most important question.
What?
You missed it. What's he doing since he's retired?
Yeah, I was about to get.
Hey, you must be feeling some type of way about the balls if you went straight to the balls.
Man,
you know?
Man, I knew my brother Mo knew about the balls, and I could get a lot of information from. So I'm just catching up a little bit. So
that's what. But Joe, this is what. So right now I'm retired. I retired in March. Probably everybody says it's probably the best time to ever retire because before the pandemic hit, the guys had to decide if they was gonna opt in or opt out. I'm gonna be real, Joe. I'm a lot like you in a sense. Like when you're a gamer, you do certain. I'd have probably opted in to play. I'm gonna be real. But now I got a morning show here in Nashville, man, that I'm hosting every day from 6 to 9 on 104.5, The Zone in Nashville. The show is growing. The people are enjoying it, man. We on there doing this. We having a blast, okay?
That's it.
We having
all football.
No, it's we do NFL. We cover the Titans of all specifically, and then we cover all the sports. We try to be like, well, we can just go and just talk about every single angle of the sports world, and then we'll just bring us some simple stuff. Like we had a major debate, okay, on like what's the best peanut butter cup. I'm gonna be real. If y'all want to go there, we can talk about it right now. If you eat a Reese's peanut butter cup, okay? I'm an OG guy. I like the little circle round ones, okay? The one that's the one. But you say that, but a lot of folks, man, called me up. Was like, man, no, Mon, you silly. Ain't no way. I'm like, what y'all talking about? Like, ain't no better Reese's cup than the original Reese's cup. They was like, no, the holiday tree one or the holiday pumpkin one. I'm like, that's too much peanut butter for me.
Man.
It don't get no better. And I'm gonna be real, John. There was a lot of people that called in about this. Like, what you mean you don't like the holiday? Don't like. So we'll talk about that. We had Mike Vick on our show Friday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we had Mike Vick on that because we played together in Pittsburgh too, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember that? Yeah, and the big conversation right now is do you lotion up in the wintertime?
Duh, you have to.
That's what I'm saying. And that's
a no-brainer.
Baby oil, baby oil.
And baby oil.
Hey, so did Mike Vick say he doesn't lotion up?
No, Mike Vick does. It's my co-host, Jason Martin, that was like, what, white people don't lotion up? I'm like, Jason, you living wrong. You living wrong, man.
He got one for y'all. I want y'all to tell me. Somebody texted me last night, told me to ask this question, so I'm glad you brought that up. Now I don't feel so bad asking it. Somebody called me and said, what's the one thing that's going to come out during the holidays? And it took me a while. So what's the one thing going to come out in the holidays? I'll help you out. Fast food restaurant. What's the one thing going to come out during the holidays?
The deep fried turkey.
Fast food.
Turkey sandwich. The turkey sandwich.
No.
Why not?
Man.
The big rib.
The big rib?
Yeah, man. Them things. You're right. That's right. The big rib.
The big rib always gonna come out.
It
so I had no idea.
Somebody told me, somebody texted me last night, they said, listen, if the McRib don't come out, then you know 2020.
Yeah. That's true,
too
Tony.
real.
That's true. Yeah.
Too real.
That is true.
You know, people they have message boards about the McRib.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, like people time it up. I ain't had one probably since like college or something, man. Y'all eat the McRib?
Oh, yeah.
Game.
He
Tear it
said,
up.
"Oh yeah."
Oh,
He
yeah.
said, you know they say it got styrofoam in it.
Whatever. I'm still eating it.
See now, nasty thing. Hey,
Let me stop, man.
you
Let me stop.
Hey, so Ramon, so what's it like been so far being retired? So a lot of guys we've had on here had a hard time retiring. You know, been going through depression, things of that nature. What's it like been for you for only a couple months?
Man, you know what? I've always had, so this has been my philosophy, man, with like retirement. And one of my ex-teammates, one of my good buddies, Alejandro Villanueva, he's a former Army Ranger. So we always talk, he's a well-traveled guy, man. He's seen stuff that we can only imagine. Like he's had to carry the flag to wives and stuff like that. You know, he's had to, see people die in front of him, and it's just a lot of stuff. And we've always had conversations about like retirement because heck, we were old, and you joke, and you know when that door is gonna close too. Like there's only so much longer a cat can play ball. Right. And one things we always talk about was like retirement. What you gonna do? How you gonna do and stuff like that. And one of the things that we've always just kind of said and just kind of really harped on was, man, the quality of your retirement and your well-being after the game is your friends, your relationships, the ability to call somebody, being able to like rap with them and be like, hey man, I'm in a spot. Man, that's why like when my brother Ron come over here, Big Joe, no, that's your brother too. He come over and like we have conversations, or like if I can call him when I'm leaving work, I'm on the way to work because he up to like having them conversations. And my my group of friends that I got around me, man, that keep me on the schedule, keep me like going, and just like little stuff like that. That's one of the things that I cherish, man, is good friends, good relationships, good conversations, something I always wanted to focus on. And I know I'm like early in this retirement game right now as far as been done with football. But it's the other side of it too that I've always kind of just watched guys that were before me just go through those certain things that you speak of, that you ask about, as far as like, man, the thing about the reason athletes are like super successful is because they live in a world that they're crazy enough to think they're gonna be the ones that make it. You feel me? Like you live in a world like, man, I'm gonna make it and ain't nobody else gonna stop me. I always tell anybody, if you're gonna do something, you gotta be stupid enough to think you the one that's gonna be chosen. I always tell, like, you gotta be that dumb. So in order to be in that dumb, I like to say that dumb because like nobody ain't gonna believe you when you tell them. You just gonna have to show them. So the one thing that we do most times, and I'm sure y'all do it too, is you become the entity of me. Like whatever I got going on is what's important. Me being able to say, man, I'm gonna do this, and then I show you I'm gonna do it. Well, when it's time to retire and it's time for you to go in a different route in your life, like being able to lean on somebody else, being able to like open up and talk to people, being able to say, man, I'm in a bad spot right here. Like that's something that I've always been focused on. It's funny because me and my wife had that conversation last night. She was like, if you ever in a situation where you feel like you gotta, tell me something, we gotta go see somebody, talk to somebody. It's like, I don't care who you talk to them. And that's been my biggest thing. And also staying mentally stimulated. That's why like when I retired, like I was like, okay, what's next? Like I'm gonna take a little break, but what's next? Like always finding that next thing, challenging myself, doing the radio stuff, staying engaged. I know social media is bad. Sometimes people can just lock into it, but Twitter is a place where I feel like if you do it the right way, you can engage with people. They get a chance to see who you are. You can just say something one day and just enlighten somebody and just show who the hell you are. Like people probably don't know Big John is a funny person. You feel me? But if you give him an opportunity, I know you.
He thinks he's funny sometimes. Let's get it corrected here. Thanks.
Y'all crazy.
But like it's the ability to like show people like, man, I'm more than what you saw on the field. And that's always been my thing, man. Like, nah, I got some stuff that's real cool about me too. Like, screw that helmet. Like, I'm a cool ass dude. You feel me? Like, that's how life is, and that's how like I am with it, man. And I'm doing stuff with my kids, of course, and you just all that stuff. But trying to stay engaged with the wife, because there's a term in which, like, you gotta freshen that up too.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
fine, it's always ever changing, and that's been my biggest advice to guys that's going in the game, because you're gonna be out of the game longer than you was in it. Is, hey, make sure your friendships, your relationships, your laughs that you get from people are good quality laughs, man, and you enjoy it, because, man, football is a hard thing. It's hard on you, and that's why I like to laugh and have such a good time. And I, my wife kind of said sometimes to me, but I like having people around me.
Yeah.
Like, I like that. You feel me? Because if I feel comfortable enough to have you around me, then we gonna have a good time.
Right.
You know. So that's one of the biggest things I tell guys that's going through that is, number one, get you a partner, get you a circle. You can group chat it, you can FaceTime it. Talk to your people, man. Like, it ain't no shame in saying, like, man, I'm going through something. Because guess what? We all do. I don't care if you're working in the office 6 days a week. Guess what? You going through something. Hash it out with people, man, because that person might enjoy that, man. When my mom passed away in 2016, man, it was one of the craziest things I ever seen. No, 2014. It's one of the craziest things I ever had to deal with, because it was right before the season. It was, nobody expected it. My mom passed away right before her 50th birthday. And that time I was confused, mad, hated the game, because why? The game took time away. The game took her away. The game took the memories away. But I actually reversed that on myself and be like, you know what? I'm gonna be able to help somebody else because of that. I'm gonna tell somebody that's got a bad relationship with their mom or their dad, they're like, hey, go talk to them. Go have a good time with them. You feel me? And I've had about 3 or 4 guys, no lie, that have had that situation, and I was the guy that they came to and had to talk them through that, because what good is information if we can't pass it on or help somebody through a hard time,
And that's beautiful too, because I tell you what, John and I have been, we don't even say friends anymore. We've been family so long that I know when my dad passed, I wouldn't have made it without him. That was hard for me.
It's tough. I'm telling
tough.
you. Because can't nobody have that. And that's one of the conversations me and Alejandro had, because, like I said, he's seen death. Like, it's amazing that this dude plays left tackle in the NFL to this day, because the stories he told us of being in a helicopter, being almost shot down where a missile and gone through the cavity of the helicopter, man, like, he handles death a whole lot better. And I'll never forget, because we mope, we complain about death, and he was like, Ramon, I don't want to sound insensitive when I tell you this, but if you sit there and you let that situation control you, then the world gonna pass you by, because the world continues on. It was like, the thing that you can't do is, like, you can't stay here and you can't let her die twice. I said, what you mean let her die twice? He was like, well, if you try to forget it, she's gone forever, and nobody ever gonna know about what she did for you, and you'll never be able to share your story with nobody else. And that right there, man, was one of the coolest conversations I ever had from somebody I really respect. And I always try to pass that on, because we all gonna deal with that in some sense, or have dealt with it. And like you said, when Big Joe helped you with yours, like, you felt, I'm sure, relieved from that also,
Oh yeah. I wouldn't have made it. I was ready to go to therapy. John was my psychiatrist, but I bet you that took. He should have got paid to be a psychiatrist for at least 3 months.
I feel you, man. But that's the relationships, man. That's what's so beautiful, though, man. I like that.
Yeah, man. Man. I'm telling you, bro. You hit it, man, because you got it now, and that's so important, man. That you got it. I didn't have it then when I retired. I didn't get it. It was. I didn't. It was a mess. But right now, everything you said is what I do now. And I think I called y'all not too long ago, because I was feeling depressed. I said, brothers, man, I just need y'all to hear me, let me get it off. And then once I did it, I was like, man, I love you guys, man. Thank you. Man, it's real. And I'm gonna tell people right now, it's real. I go through it. I know more. I mean, this what he's saying is real. That's why we got a house party together with the boys. That's why I do that, man. They text, hey man, another thing, them suckers text so dang much. Bruh, my phone was off one day. I turned it on and it was 142 texts. I said, who talks that thing nuts? I was like, but guess what? I was loving it. Guess what I'm doing? I'm reading every last one of them. I said, and that gave me something. And I said something at the end, but I done missed about 5, 6 conversations. So it's just cool, man. And you so right on that, bro. And I'm thankful for sharing that, man. It just gave me confirmation that I'm doing it right. I'm doing it okay.
I promise you.
I'm doing it.
Now I'm gonna say this because we always talk to the audience about athletes, not just NFL players, athletes, and people sometimes forget that they're human, and that when you go home, they got families, they got wives, they have the same problems, and so I'll tell this story. Let me tell you, John, little boy was born, and somebody called me from Home Depot, and they say, "Man, y'all, you should see your boy." I said, "Who?" He said, "John." I said, "What's wrong with it?" He said, "Man, he done cut some jeans in the shorts, the left side higher than the right side. He got 2 different pair of shoes on." So they took a picture and sent it to me.
Man, look here.
Yeah.
I called Joe at Home Depot. I said, "Joe, what's wrong with you?"
Hey, look, I was working in the yard that day. It wasn't no
said, he said, "Tony, I woke up and I said, I'm going to plant a tree for my newborn son."
That's too real. That's
a couple of months ago, before COVID started, me and him went in the backyard. That little tree he planted, standing up high.
It made it, didn't it? It made it. It made it. Hey, man, look, yo.
It's crazy you say you planted the trees. During COVID, I planted 2 lemon trees. I'm looking at them every day like, just give me a couple lemons off of it. I got 2 lemon trees right now. And so you know it get cold here, right?
Yeah.
How about my silly behind, man? Got the dolly. I'm carrying him in and out of the garage every day so they don't catch no frostbite, man. I'm getting me some lemons.
Hey, so what made you go back home? What made you not stay in Pittsburgh? Because John, he's from where you guys are at, and he stayed in Jacksonville. A lot of players now stay in Jacksonville once they retire. What made you go back home? Was it the cold or?
Hell yeah, it was the cold.
So I'm from Tennessee. I'm from West Tennessee, right outside of Memphis, Ripley, Tennessee. I picked Nashville because 1, it's growing like crazy. 2, my wife's from outside of Nashville also, so it's easy to set up here. I've been in Nashville has actually been more beneficial, I feel like, than if I was in Pittsburgh. I get an opportunity here to just be me. Like if I'd have been in Pittsburgh, I'd have still been like the football player, Ramon Foster. Like, and I still am here. But like now I get more people that hit me up as like, "Man, I love your radio show." I'd rather hear that than the football side of it because it's cool for me. And Pittsburgh, and I'll be honest with you, I'm like Big Joe, man, like, or just like you guys. I love being around my family, or the availability of being around my family.
Yes.
So Nashville is close enough to where I can get to them if I have to, but far enough to where they can't just show up.
There can't be no pop-ups.
You can no pop-ups, baby. Ain't nothing worse than a pop-up because you know what comes with the pop-up? I need something. Tell me I'm lying and I'll stop talking.
You're right.
Tell me I'm lying and I'll stop talking.
Hey, look, it's this time of the show, man. It's that time, man. I keep looking at the time. I was like, we ain't finna lose this time with this Pittsburgh Steelers thing and this Jaguar. So we finna get right into it. Hey, Mom, I'm gonna go ahead and let you have the flow first. So, cause you got the Pittsburgh in what?
09.
09. So give us the experience on so the Jaguar fans can see how it was, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, how y'all prepare for, the Jaguar.
Okay.
And I know we were different then. I know we were different.
Yeah.
But it's still the history. It's a history, man.
And then towards your end of the career, like 2007. Like, you know what I'm saying? them 2 wins. But started early career in 09 though.
All right. Let me holler at you. Okay, so 09 is one of those years. I get to Pittsburgh as an undrafted guy, man. Cool. I honestly chose Pittsburgh because when you're an undrafted free agent, like you can honestly like pick where you're gonna go to. And my agent at the time, Tim McGee. Shout out to Tim, man. Some of the best information he gave me. He said, man, you go to Pittsburgh, you're a really good athlete. You got the opportunity to make it there because Pittsburgh is the land of opportunity. Me, I listened to Tim, man, and Tim pointed me in the right direction. I will say that he did point me in the right direction choosing Pittsburgh. And when I went there, man, everything about it, the culture was cool. Coach Tomlin, bona fide Hall of Fame head coach in a sense. Just beautiful. But to the Jacksonville series, man, when I got into the league, Jacksonville wasn't what it was when Big John played, okay? Like, Jacksonville had some years of just, if you're a faithful Jaguar fan, I salute you, okay? Because it was some hard times. But even still, with Jacksonville not being as good at the time, I'll never forget. Coach Tomlin is a historian of the league, of the game. He respects the game. He loves the game, man. If y'all ever get an opportunity to be around Coach T, have a football conversation with him. It's beautiful because he just so much. And so playing Jacksonville, one thing he never wanted us to minimize anything, everything. Okay, every week is an important week. But the thing with Jacksonville was this: he's such a historian of the league and just somebody that loves the game. He sat us down in a meeting room every time we had to play Jacksonville, and he broke down the history of the game to us with Jacksonville. And just tell us, like, look, this team may be this way, but don't underestimate this team because they coming in here to win. It's like, I don't think y'all know it, but the people who are still in the front office was there in some of those times where the road to the Super Bowl was dealt through Jacksonville or Pittsburgh. And those teams went against each other in a bad way, man, from Hugh and Stroud to just Jerome and watching just everybody else with young Ben in the league and how brutal them games was and just more or less like, hey, you better get your mind right. I'll never forget when we got Byron Leftwich from Jacksonville when he came to Pittsburgh. Like, everybody looked at him like, man, you sure you gonna come to Pittsburgh? Because this is a deep-rooted rivalry, man. It's not spoken of because Jacksonville got hot and then kind of fell off real quick. But it's appreciated from people who actually watch and know the game, man. I've always respected Jacksonville. And truth be told, they do play us hard because the front office management, just the people around the game, they know that, like, that's a sick rivalry, man. Like, you better have your mind right. And then I hated going in that stadium and hearing it, Duval. I'm like, come on, man, let's kick y'all tail and go home. But it wasn't no easy. and so, go ahead.
Hey, but you so right, man. Hey, I just wanted to do a quick one too, man, because you done got me fired up. I done went on YouTube and saw 05. I said, I done caught the 05 season. Let me look at it. So it was y'all had the ball, and I think they done scored, so we got the ball. It's 3rd and 1. Put on your shoes, baby. Here come the bus. I said, oh, hell no. I said, the train is here, bus. The train is here. Let's go. 4th and 1. Hit. Bam. Stop it. Choo, baby. We in the building, baby. I'm sorry. It winded back. I'm telling you, boy.
No, go ahead.
Woo. Hey,
so when your first home game, they heard Duval, what did you think? Or were you warned that the fans would be yelling at the whole game?
But the thing was, I didn't know it was going to be like that. I'm looking like, oh, they really rep this. Like, the city of Jacksonville is beautiful because, like, y'all really, like, bought into the team. Like, people are born into, like, Jacksonville came there to where people had to, like, choose, like this is my team. Like, and I'm rolling with it. And just the love. Like, I even see on social media where the comedian Lil Duval repping to the end of him. Like, if you're a citizen of Jacksonville, you rolling with it, man. And I'll say this too, as we fast forward a little bit. So with the years that Jacksonville got real nice, real tight, you know, when they had Calais and they go out here and Yannick is out here and Miles, what is it? What's his last name? Yeah. Miles Jack and did I say Yannick already? And you guys had Fournette and you got Ramsey and all Blake I could think Blake. There you go.
Hey man, don't do my boy Blake like that.
Nobody was, but he, you know what? He did everything he was supposed to do in that role.
Yep,
he did everything he was supposed to do in that role. So kudos to him for tricking us and tricking everybody else too. So, but and again, Coach Tomlin gave us the history that he showed you, Big Joe, on film. He showed Stroud out there. He showed the years of DeLong. He showed the years of Byron Leftwich, just all the way down Fred. He showed everybody. Okay, like think about those names, and then you circle back. And truth be told, all they did, management at the time, was clone those teams that y'all had.
Yeah.
When I done got killer corners, defensive line, a killer running back, and a serviceable quarterback. And playing those teams, no lie, was one of the hardest games. And it seemed like really it was matched up to beat Pittsburgh. And they did. They beat us twice, man. And you want to talk about heartbroken, like just crushed. It's one thing for y'all to beat us in Jacksonville. Cool, whatever. This y'all crib. It's hot down here. It's humid. They already reeling. And then I'm playing against Malik Jackson, who's a UT ball at the time. They went and got him from Denver to come down there. Of all the guys I played, Malik Jackson, who y'all know from UT, was probably one of my biggest nemesis. I loved him. I actually got his jersey in my house. Like we traded after the game. And with him against me, he's 6'6", 6'7", same as I am, long arms, but he's shifty as hell. Calais was nice, but my headache was with Malik Jackson. I never told nobody that, but my headache was with Malik, man, because he was so doggone quick and he can pop you, get off the block, and get to the quarterback real fast.
Right.
And just, okay, so like I said, y'all beat us in Jacksonville, cool. That year, I think we might have had the first round bye.
Yeah.
Had like 6, 7 Pro Bowlers, all pros. Like
we had 5 that year, by the way.
I think we had 7. I think we had 7 that year.
They have 7.
Well, we had 7, and I'll never forget. We kept saying to ourselves, "We're gonna get them in Pittsburgh. Don't you worry. We'll get them in Pittsburgh." And when I tell you the matchup that they had for us, number one was the running game. Fournette was a monster. That O-line, even at the time, was nice. And then, like I said, just the D-line. You walk Calais out there, and he walked like a big old Neanderthal, just stomping the ground when he walked. Tell me I'm lying. You know when he walk out there, he walked like he got legs like a horse out there, man. But I respect the hell of him. OG, man, cool dude, man. I'll never forget the first time I played him. I was like, I'm going to cut him. First play of the game, I'm cutting. I set up, man, and I dove down his legs real quick, man. And from that point, he looked at me. I looked at him. I was like, I had to. You know what I'm saying? But I had to cut Calais, man. But that 2017 game, man, we put up 42 points and y'all put up 45. I think that's what the final score was. And if there was going to be any year for Pittsburgh to win the championship, it was that year. And we got sent home by y'all. That was, you brought up that year, and I was like, I already know where this going. This ain't going to be no good interview for me.
So they beat y'all twice that year?
Yeah. Twice.
That's the same thing happened in 07.
That's what they're saying. They're comparing the teams a lot like that year.
Wow. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I got to bring this up now. So you said you dove at Calais, right?
Yeah, I cut
him. The Madden rankings had you the slowest person in the NFL. So how did Calais see a slow-mo 6'7", 300-pound lineman come down and was like, oh.
Nah, let me tell you how this works, okay? I might be slow, but within 10 yards, I'm quick as ever, okay?
Tell him, bro.
Understand what Madden said. They did rank you.
Now, also,
so did your teammates harass you about that?
Yeah, they might. Nah, not really, because I was still getting the Madden check. You feel me, Joe?
Yeah.
I was still getting the Madden check.
Madden check, baby.
I'll tell you this. I never tripped over my speed whatsoever. Like, speed ain't never been my thing. My coach said I ran a 4.9 in high school. I think he stopped the clock early on me, okay? I'm a realist about it, okay? I'm a guy that always worked hard. I knew my talents, I knew my strengths, and I minimized my weaknesses. I knew that, listen, if I can find a way to beat you mentally, if I can find a way to get my hands on you, You're not gonna bull rush me. You're not gonna push through me. I'm a big dude. I'm gonna use all this body. So guess what? You know what my coach used to tell him? Mom, get him in the phone booth. And that's what I did. So speed didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Boy, look at here. We got the big dog getting ready to come on, y'all.
Who that?
I get some support. Big Silver in the house.
Oh my God. What's up,
Oh man, we're in France.
Woo!
It's a party now.
Yes, indeed. What up?
It's a party now.
What's up?
Hey.
We on this Pittsburgh Jaguars, Big Soul.
Don't beat it down, Big Silver.
What
Hey.
was
Not this
what was
year.
it like?
You know, I mean, Jaguar, we've always traditionally played the Steelers tough. You know,
Yeah.
the Steelers are playing really, really good right now, though. I mean, you can't make no mistakes when you play against that team. You've seen them come down from back. So it's going to be a real, real tough game. Obviously, coming down here, Pittsburgh knows the rivalry from the AFC Central. So it's going to be a good matchup, I think. It's not going to be anything easy. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to take Jacksonville lightly at all. I definitely don't think that they'll come here, especially the way Jacksonville played last week. Had
Aaron
a
Rodgers.
chance. They had Aaron Rodgers on the ropes, had a chance to win that game in Green Bay. So I definitely see Pittsburgh coming down here with a serious mentality to try and get a big win for them. That'll obviously secure a lot of things for them going forward. Possibly that first bye. They're only going to have one bye, so that'll be big for the Steelers with Big Ben. But I'm only on here really because I don't think the Jaguars will have enough to win the game. They're still a very young team. And Tony, I'm just getting my mouth ready for that Morton Steakhouse. You bet that the Jaguars are going to make the playoffs. They're 1-8 right now, and they are not going to the playoffs, sir. So we're going to eat. We're going to eat.
Okay.
So big time. We're going to eat, baby.
They're not going to the playoffs.
They're not going to the playoffs.
Okay, but they're gonna win. They're gonna win this game tomorrow.
They got a chance. They do have a chance. They do have a chance.
This is what I'm saying. Is this you're 100% right. Jacksonville always plays Pittsburgh hard. I don't know why. I guess it's the history of it. But and I'll say this too about that team. They got rid of a lot of players, Calais, Yannick, Fournette, and I think those guys in that locker room, if they smart, they looked at it and they're pretty much like, look, we either going to go out here and get embarrassed or we going to be the ones that turn this thing around. And I'm not saying they turn it around right now, but the culture of Fournette, the culture of like just your old school guys they had in that locker room, if they keep it going with Marone, they might have something nice. That's all I'm saying.
They're just waiting for Trevor Lawrence to show up next year, baby.
Oh, cut the foolishness out.
New York beating you on that. The Jets beating you on that.
Right.
Jets gonna get Trevor Lawrence, and I'm gonna say this.
All right, Fields then.
Wait a
Let me
minute.
say
Hold on.
this.
That would be good. That would be good.
So nobody
That'd be
likes the rookie. Nobody likes who's
I
quarterback.
like the rookie.
Come
I
on,
think
he's
he's
not
doing-
that quarterback, John. Let's be real.
I like the rookie.
You trying
Hey,
to
man, look.
every franchise? That's the problem. You have to believe.
Yeah, and that's you're right about that. When you get an opportunity to get the guy, I don't care who you have. You go get the guy.
I'm not sold on Trevor Lawrence just yet.
Really?
I mean, I think he's a great player, but I mean, we've all seen it before. You know, we've seen guys that are, can't misses. That are supposed to be the number one pick, Heisman Trophy. Let's talk about it for a while. Remember the quarterback from Ohio State? What was his name a couple of years ago?
Haskins?
No, not Haskins.
Terrell Pryor?
Charles, the big boy. He couldn't miss, right? Huh?
But,
I can't remember his name. He's not in the league already.
Terrell Pryor?
Jones.
Terrell
Cardale
Pryor, but they moved him to quarterback. I mean, the list goes on. We all know that. I mean, the list goes on for quarterbacks that guys. I mean, when you come out of college and Big John, you guys know this. There's some guys on Tennessee football team that ain't going to the NFL, and y'all know that. There's some players on Alabama that's not going to the NFL. We know that. There's some people at Clemson that's not going to the NFL. So we talk about going to the NFL. Now you got everybody that's at that caliber with that speed. Now he's got to get there and adjust to that speed of all those players. Because see, you got some slouches at Kentucky. You got some slouches at Florida. You got some slouches at Notre Dame, at all these places that he played. but you don't have a lot of slouches in the league. So when you get there, he's got to meet that task. So if he meet the task at Clemson, okay, that's great. But now you've got a new task to meet. So you can't say, oh, he's automatically going to meet it, because we saw plenty of quarterbacks that haven't made it, that are supposed to be can't miss guys that have been drafted in the first round. Tim Couches, the list goes on and on. So to put your stake in a young guy and say we've got so much, what Jacksonville's got to do is they got to focus on all their picks. They've got a lot of picks. They got to collectively bring in a group of guys that can collectively help the team get better as a whole, because they're a very young team. They make a lot of mistakes defensively and offensively. I don't think defensively Todd Walsh is the guy. I think he should have been fired a long time ago. He does not put those players in position to make plays.
Somebody said it.
He doesn't put those players in position to make plays. And I think that's where Yannick was wanting to get out of here, because all last year we got Josh Allen and Yannick, and they're not on the field at the same time on third down. What the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell? I mean, that's how crazy to me. And you said something about Doug Marrone, Ramon. Doug Marrone needs to be fired. Last year, he rotated guards all through the season. You're a head coach. You can't analyze an offensive guard and say, this is my starter. He's not the guy. And then you're sticking with a coordinator who he is just, I haven't studied him, but I can attack Jacksonville's defense just by the couple games that I've watched. Starting by one, motion, you're going to get a soft cover 3 and throw hitches all day, and you can win.
So we had this conversation earlier when we saw my college coaches. We said in the sense of like, there's only so many Nick Saban, Dabo Sweeney's, Day up in Ohio State, and then you go back from Bobby Bowden, let's go to Coach Fulmer to Tressel. Like, it's only so many of them. So you said Maroney ain't the guy. So I asked you, since we got this open panel, in a sense, well, what's a good coach? Because if we can't find the guy, not only that, what's a good coach, and how many wins keep him hired?
I think, Doug, I think is already got himself fired this year.
Okay.
With the 1-9 start, whatever they are, 1-8 start.
We hope.
But they've been in a lot of games.
You don't.
I know.
You play to win the games.
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
But
I'm playing devil's advocate.
I think the guys play hard for him, no doubt. I think they do like him. I think some of them do. But at the end of the day, you've got to be a coach that's winning football games. He's like, in college, you're paid to win football games. You're not prepared. You're not, paid to prepare those guys for the league. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you got to win football games, and Doug's not winning football games. That's ultimately what it comes down to, win the football game. If you don't win, you don't put your team in an opportunity to win. They've had opportunities, but he hasn't found a way or a formula to get those guys over that hump, even with young guys. And if you can't find that formula, then you got to move on and find somebody who can. I think Bieniemy would be a great acquisition.
I want Bieniemy to get a job fast.
You talk about a young quarterback. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's a recycled white boy that can go on out the league. He's recycled and been in the league too long. He's been here twice, I believe, already. He's not.
I love Mike Tyson.
We need some young blood. I think Bieniemy. I think you make a run at what's the coordinator? It's the coordinator for.
You said it, man. They do need young blood, and I think
they do.
Let me ask this, Ramon. I ask you this because how is it that Pittsburgh, they go through so least amount of coaches, and the culture doesn't change, and any player that you talk to that's been to Pittsburgh, I only know one player that didn't like Pittsburgh. I only know one.
You have to tell me off air.
Only one player has ever told me he hated Pittsburgh. Out of all the players I know.
You're going to have to tell me.
The Rooney family has run that organization with class and pride for years. They've done a great job as far as bringing in coaches that, and they don't get rattled with a bad season and fire a coach or two bad seasons. They stick with those coaches. But what the thing is, they have a system, and they haven't changed that defense. They play that same defense for years. So when they hire a coordinator, they're hiring a coordinator that's going to coach 3-4. We're going to draft guys for a 3-4. they're not going back and forth. We got Jacksonville, we got players that are 4-3-4 defense. Some people say we got players for a 4-3 defense. We don't have a true identity. Pittsburgh has established their identity in the 70s. Jacksonville still, even when we had great teams in the early 90s, we had an identity, but we lost that identity when we started losing.
I'll say this, the difference between Pittsburgh and a lot of organizations that I've heard guys say stuff about, or you just recognize the stuff that happens at other organizations, is this. It's in terms of ownership, like you said, with the Rooney family and just the city also, when it comes to football, it stays football. They're not hovering Coach Tomlin and his staff about wins and losses. They allow the coaches to coach. Only time we see Mr. Rooney is, other than when he's just walking around the hallways, is at the beginning of the season when he congratulates everybody who made the 53-man roster. We'll see him at Christmas time, and then we'll see him at playoff time. Those are the only 3 times. He'll walk out on the practice field, but he's working on himself. It's not like he's scrutinizing. And the organizations I've heard that have been bad, the owners get involved. The ego of saying, hey, I want this to be about me winning this instead of us.
I talking about Jerry like that.
See what I'm saying? I've also heard this about the Raiders organization. I've heard this about other organizations. I heard
like that.
I mean, even in Jacksonville, look at Coughlin. Coughlin was the GM in the sense that he wanted to be the coach in Jacksonville. Let's be honest about that. Like, there's a lot. Like, when it comes to football, that's the only thing that matters in Pittsburgh. Coach Tomlin ain't gonna hound you about being a pro. And I'll tell you this. I told somebody this earlier. Coach T has the grown man effect. He has the, I'm not going to make you do your job if you don't want to do it, but I'm going to let everybody else know that you're not doing your job. I ain't going to say nothing to you. He ain't got no doghouse. If a guy's been late, $1,500 is the fine. Most teams are fining guys hundreds of thousands of dollars. Coach T hits you with a $1,500 fine, put it up on the big board. He has a piece of paper, and then he go throw it in the trash can. That's what he does. He don't focus on stuff that takes away from the game. He don't focus on stuff that says, hey, even when dealing with AB, and everybody saw a lot of stuff that happened. I'll never trash AB because he's a special dude. And our relationship isn't what everybody else's relationship was. So with him, he was able to get everything he could out of Antonio because of why. He let AB be who AB was. Long as he wasn't taken away from the game, long as you knew at any point in time, when Sunday hits and them lights come on, you're going to get the best guy you can out of him. We're referred to the team meeting. So what? We're in the team meeting. This ain't the game. Let AB do his dance on the sideline because guess what? He's the best in the world. That's the same thing that goes with Ben, for me, for when Ike Taylor was there, when Troy was there. Troy used to walk out to practice, guys. OG Troy, Hall of Fame Troy Polamalu, on his days off, will walk out there on the cold days with a pair of big Ugg boots on, some hunting gear on, a big hoodie on top of a big jacket, and he would sit down on the bench. Other coaches would lose their minds over something like that. Coach T be like, can you do what Troy do? Well, leave Troy alone. And that's just, that's just how
I'll tell you what, Coughlin would have never went for that shit.
You see what I'm saying? So complaining about
Coughlin would have never went for that.
Is that football stuff? No. It ain't football stuff. So why am I going to get mad about that? Because when Troy turned on them lights and he released that hair out of his helmet, that's who you want. So why am I mess with his stigma? And I'll say this too, and we've had plenty of superstars in Pittsburgh. Superstars are finicky. You got to let superstars do what they want to do to a fault in a sense, because the moment that you take away from them, you take away from their production because they're only in a race with themselves. And the race is going to do nothing but benefit you and the rest of the team. He's a mad. What's that?
You don't get any feelings like if he's being a prima donna, you don't really care because you know what his greatness is. Like, does it ever affect you how you feel about it? Like, you know, the situation with like him and Van, you know, kind of being a little childish. Like, you get involved, or you just sit on the sideline and say, "Hey, that's the superstar. No. Just gotta hash it out."
No. Like, so this is the thing too. He allows the team concept to bring guys in. If AB or anybody else is ever going through something, you naturally go rap with them because you know it ain't as big as they make it seem. Like, that's exactly what it was. Like I said, that pressure of, okay, he will put up on the big board. You guys know how team meetings go. Hey, player A ain't doing his job. I'm telling player A right now, he's on notice in front of everybody. And look, if you don't clean this up next week, I'm going shopping. I'm going to find somebody else that can do it. It might be in this room. It might be outside of this room. But guess what happens the next week? Player A corrects that. The team put pressure on him because he lives in that concept of like, don't take away from the team. If AB has something going on, I would rap with him. Marquise would rap with him. It'd be guys that say something to him because at the end of the day, you got to bring it back in and be like, man, it's the culture of it ain't a lot going on in Pittsburgh as far as like a Miami, Atlanta, LA, New York. So when I say like football is the main focus, it's with everybody from like the people you meet in the bar to the restaurants to the grocery store to the car wash. Like, it's the culture of that. And Coach Tomlin forces that on everybody without. Like I said, if I went to y'all and was like, hey, man, Tony out here playing around, y'all. Watch Tony when he come out here to this practice field. If he ain't got his mind right, he ready to go, guess what? I'm going to put somebody else in place. And guess what Tony going to do in front of his homies and the rest of the team? He going to get right.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way.
I like that, man. That's cool how you do that, man.
Coughlin had that same similar, like, but he made it more, I guess, more of a, coming down on you. I mean, Big John, you remember he used to come in practice. We used to start off practice with, or the team meeting. We had 5 penalties on offense, 6 on defense. And he called out the names, which, you didn't want your name called, which made you want to play better. But see, Coughlin had his approach was more be an asshole type, you know what I'm saying? So that pushed us close together, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of wore on these younger guys here in Jacksonville because, the same times have changed, you know what I mean? As far as what you do with a player and how you treat players. So, that war on those guys here, because they weren't ready for that. Now, like you said, it's more about the why, you know what I'm saying, for these kids when they coach. And we do, they said run to the fence. We just ran to the fence. We didn't ask why you want us to run to the fence. Now these kids, you got to give them a reason why you want me to run to the fence. Well, it's going to help you in your conditioning. Fourth quarter, you're going to get tired. This will benefit you. But now, these kids rebel against that. It's so much social media, you know what I mean? Yeah. So now they can, they got a word or a voice to kind of speak out and get that out. And see, Coughlin, he built us all, we all hated him, and we played together as a team
against
for each other. But, we played with each other because we was all, together against him, but at the end, it kind of, that wore thin too, because you have, you get guys that are banged up and he's like, I got to see practice on a Friday. It's like, what you need me on Friday for when if I can get this day of rest, I can give you, I can give you those 10 catches, and 100 yards on Sunday. But if you make me practice today, I might set that thing back and I can only give you 6 to 5 catches, and now we're going to struggle. So that's how Coughlin different from Tomlin, I think, with Jacksonville. They're more a laid-back approach. They want to win the game. Coughlin was more about, like, the military. He wants, he was down to the, you remember that, John? Our itinerary was down to the 32nd on game day. Like,
what?
It'd be down to the 32nd. It'd be
hey, John, how do you feel about that?
It would literally be down to the 30, like at one point, like 30, you going back out to the field. You're like, 30 seconds, nigga? Like, who is going to really 30 seconds?
Hey, man.
That's how it was, though. Hey. I mean, that's truly how it was.
Look here, man. Hey, man. Definitely, man. We got to come to an end. I know, man. We can go all day. I already know. But, man, we got to come to an end. But the real thing I want to say before I come to the end is who got the Jaguars tomorrow?
I do.
All right, I see John.
I'm gonna roll with them because they drafted me, and they gonna play tough.
There we go.
But I mean, I keep it real. I mean, Tony take me out the roof, Chris.
Yes,
so I mean, if you all want to make another bet, Ramon,
hey, I'm gonna take all that stuff down in your house right now. you don't love us, man. You don't love us, man. I'm taking all.
Yeah, you gotta get
it. Hey, Ramon. I got one for you.
We gotta go, Tony. You gotta say that for next year.
If Jacksonville beat Pittsburgh, we want $100 donation to our charity. If Pittsburgh beat us, we'll give $100 to your charity.
100%. We own.
We own. Yo, hey man, Mo, I really appreciate it. So, man, I appreciate y'all coming out. It is on. It is on. It's on. Game time. What you want? JFL Live. We in this thing. Steelers, Jaguar. Are you ready? We out this thing.